The iron lung, the wheelchair, portable respirator, the rocking bed. Few families could afford them, but as long as you go on caring and giving to the March of Dimes, Carol will not be shut away from the world. She can know some small part of the joy of being just 12 years old. The need of polio patients is everywhere and always urgent. Every day is a challenge. In Stratford, Connecticut, this is the way the day begins for Dr. Burton Fern. Paralytic polio spared no cruelty with the young physician. Physically, he was left completely helpless. National Foundation equipment, the strength of his attendant, paid by the local chapter, they are his mainstays. But there are other powers which Dr. Fern mobilized. Nowadays, he doesn't say much about the long, painful months in the hospital, or learning to frog breathe at the respirator center. He'd never call himself courageous or unafraid, but when he came home to his wife, he announced he was ready to go back to work. Friends and neighbors pitched in. They devised this unique telephone. It can be used with the only movement Dr. Fern has, his toes. To dial, a given amount of pressure from the left foot makes the desired number light up. The mechanism can send and receive phone calls. The telephone meant that Dr. Fern could work as a consultant, talk once again with his medical colleagues and old patients. And that was just the beginning. He had more to give. He wanted to return to the staff of the Bridgeport General Hospital, wanted to teach again. Regular travel away from home seemed impossible. But there was a way. His own community, Stratford, made this microbus possible. A benefit performance of their famous Shakespeare Festival paid for it. What once seemed out of the question has become a familiar everyday event. No one even stops to stare anymore. The doctor says he feels like a 5-star general riding along. As for the driver, well, Dr. Fern is not the one to tell jokes about women drivers. The hospital is where Dr. Fern feels he belongs. This is the work he was trained for. As just part of his duties, he teaches second-year nurses. In addition, he's required to make the rounds of the children's ward, talk with the interns. Like any other physician, Dr. Fern has a long, busy day. A fine mind, a strong will, and your generosity. How much they can accomplish. Our next visit is with a fellow in Wisconsin who has no chosen field of work. He can't even pronounce rehabilitation. Anthony Wires is just 4 years old. His 9 brothers and sisters always call him Bimbo. Chores and fresh country air build big appetites, but before they begin, a moment of thankfulness.